We arrived to devastation in every direction. At this hotel that collapsed during the earthquake, rescuers are using sniffer dogs in their desperate search for dozens of people still trapped in the rubble.
So as long as the dogs are barking, you're going to keep looking. Yes. Yes.
But there is so much rubble to search here. Satellite images show how the earthquake and tsunami altered the landscape. Buildings before and after. The town's entire coastline swallowed by the sea. The powerful quake, an 18-foot wall of water, striking with little to no warning. Some homes just floating away. We felt aftershocks. There have been hundreds so far. And at the airport as we came in, scores of people were getting out, wounded and weary, boarding military planes to be evacuated from here. Days after disaster struck, aid is still only trickling in to a place running urgently low on everything.
Well, let's take you now live to Indonesia, and on the ground for us there is journalist Tony Cheng. Tony, are there any hopes of finding survivors still?
I think at this stage, 6 days after the earthquake and the tsunami struck, hope really is running short. There are still search and rescue teams out there, and I think they're doing everything they possibly can, but they're still challenged by lack of numbers and a lack of heavy equipment. We came in yesterday from the city of Poso, where we thought we would see a lot of the heavy equipment needed to shift a lot of these structures, but there was very little. There was also surprisingly very little of the vital food, medical supplies and water that people have been saying they need here. And I think that is the main problem for the Indonesian authorities at this stage. They've been trying to restore order on the streets of Palu. We've seen an awful lot of looting. I don't know if you can see just behind me. This is a car that was caught in the wreckage of the earthquake, and there are two young men who are basically stripping it. Now, over the last couple of days, we've seen a lot of that all over the city. But about 30 minutes ago, we saw the two squads of Indonesian soldiers come and order everybody out of the mall and try and establish some kind of order, but they've moved on and the looters have moved back in again. So I think they're caught slightly. They need to maintain order, but they also need these security forces to distribute the aid that the rest of the population needs.
Do people feel let down by the government there, Tony?
Some of them do. I think some of them are feeling very disappointed. And when we came into the city, we passed tens of thousands of people on the roads. These were tiny little mountain passes which had been blocked by landslides. So it was very slow moving. A trip which should have taken 5 hours took 17. But I think people are just not prepared to wait anymore. They've been waiting through these two very traumatic events. But these are just vital things. It is blisteringly hot here. There is very little food available. Anything that was in the shops has been looted. And I think waiting for supplies and essentials to be provided by the government, they've just decided it is not worth waiting for.
Tony, thank you very much for bringing us up to date there. Tony Cheng live for us. Well, Janice Mackie-Freya, as we said, is also on the ground there. She brings us more about how the situation is.
This is the beach at Palu, where the tsunami struck. That 18-foot wall of water coming ashore and destroying everything in its path. Trees have been uprooted, buildings have been shattered, collapsing, cars have been tossed around. It seems everywhere you look from here, there is destruction. But there's no heavy equipment available to try to clean up. So a lot of people are doing this work by hand. They're also still looking for the missing. Nobody knows how many people were pulled out to sea. There were hundreds on the beach at the time getting ready for a music festival. Aid has been slow to reach here, but military flights are landing at the airport, taking relief supplies out, reloading with people wanting to evacuate. But people here are growing desperate, and they need everything. They need fuel, fresh water, and importantly, information. In Palu, Indonesia, I'm Janice Mackie-Freya, NBC News for Euronews.